I talk to an alternate version of my family and no one believes me. About 8 to 9 years ago, I found myself at my former residence, relishing a meal lovingly prepared by my mother. It must have been around 11 p.m., a time when my brother was attending school, and my father was diligently engaged in his work. Having completed my meal, the unmistakable sound of our home phone rang out, prompting me to promptly inform my mother before she made her way upstairs to her room. I distinctly recall her advising me against answering the call. However, my innate curiosity got the better of me, and as she retreated to her room, I succumbed to the urge to pick up the receiver, longing to discover the identity of our nocturnal caller. To my astonishment, upon answering the call, my ears were greeted by the unmistakable voice of my mother, inquiring, "Hello, is this Christina?" With a mix of surprise and intrigue, I responded in the affirmative, "Yes, why?" Little did I know that what was to follow would blur the lines between reality and inexplicable occurrence. Engaging in a full-fledged conversation, I conversed with my mother as though she was in proximity. Yet, the physical truth remained that she was confined to her room upstairs. In the midst of this surreal exchange, an added layer of peculiarity manifested itself. While conversing with my mother on the phone, I discerned my father's voice on the line, a voice that was undoubtedly situated at his workplace. I seized the opportunity to question my mother about the voice on the other end of the line, confirming that it was indeed my father. Curiosity spurred me to request speaking with him directly, to which my mother willingly obliged, seamlessly transferring the call. The ensuing dialogue with my father only heightened the intrigue. He conveyed that he was engrossed in the simple act of preparing cereal in our kitchen, a kitchen where I myself stood, conversing with both my parents over the phone. As the conversation continued, my emotions wavered between awe and trepidation. My attempts to fathom this inexplicable convergence of voices and realities were met with a peculiar sensation. With skepticism growing, I contemplated a daring move, addressing my purported brother's presence at school. A nagging suspicion whispered that perhaps my parents were orchestrating an elaborate prank. My inquiries yielded an unsettling outcome. The voice of my brother emanated from the phone, bridging the gap between my perceptions and the realm of my questions. This uncanny interplay between myself and the voices on the line precipitated a flurry of emotions. Overwhelmed, I abruptly terminated the call, retreating from the enigma that had enveloped me. The repercussions of this experience did not wane. The persistent ring of the telephone compelled me to reconsider my stance, my initial retreat from the unknown. With hesitance and apprehension, I once again lifted the receiver, plunging back into the inexplicable. Queries regarding my hasty exit were posed, prompting me to conjure a convenient excuse rooted in the mundane, bathroom urgency. Resuming the dialogue, I requested a conversation with the version of myself that existed in this otherworldly exchange. Permission granted, I found myself conversing with a manifestation of my own voice, a surreal interaction that echoed through the receiver. Yet, despite the fascination and mystique, a sense of disquiet remained. The persistent calls that followed were met with silence. I elected not to reciprocate. As the years have progressed, the memory of this bewildering incident continues to cast a shadow. Struggling to reconcile the inexplicable, I yearn for answers, a framework through which to decipher what transpired. In my quest, I've combed the vast expanse of knowledge, only to find my path obscured by uncertainty. My entreaty to you, fellow seekers of truth, is simple. Can anyone offer insights or share similar experiences that might lend clarity to my enigma? The words of my AI companion contend that my memory is entangled in confusion or perhaps entwined with a lucid dream. Yet, in the depths of my being, I remain resolute in the authenticity of my recollection. Thus, I extend my call for elucidation, an appeal for a glimpse of understanding amidst the story that has haunted my thoughts for years.